Good morning, guys. This is just an addendum to my video last night on scalp massage, and I was talking about doing it twice a day, which would be ideal. And I'm doing it this morning, and I do try to do a little bit as often as I can. You really want to aim for several minutes, and you really want to go 5 minutes if you can, 10 minutes better, 15 minutes even better. Again, it's really as much time as you can put into it, and more is definitely better, okay? So the amount of circulation that you increase in your scalp by doing this firm pressure, this shearing, okay? Again, the massage is good, and when I massage too, I'm actually digging my fingers into my scalp. Okay, and I like to pinch the skin together too. You push and pinch, and you can also pull the hair. And when you pull the hair, obviously you don't want to pull tiny pieces because you don't want to pull your hair out. You grab a little chunk of it and you tug on it. You wiggle it. Grab a good chunk, wiggle it, and keep your hands close to your scalp, okay? That way you won't be pulling your hair out. And this is great as well. It really stimulates the follicles and, again, sends signals to bring more blood flow. So I love to have my hair pulled. My husband and I joke about this all the time. I'm like, oh, people joke about the caveman's dragging the women around by their hair. I'm like, who are they kidding? They loved it. It's funny that someone would even think of that, pulling people around by their hair. But yeah, really just the shearing, just that fascia shearing, okay? Really wiggling the scalp. And you want to make sure you get all of it, especially the areas that you have the most concern. Like for me, it's like this area, which is true for a lot of us aging women, and even young people too have this as well. And a lot of this, from my understanding, is we hold a lot of tension in our scalp, in our head, and a lot of us hold tension right in through this area. So really don't forget your eyes. Massage your eyes and your forehead. And, while you're at it, you can do everything. But I'm just saying, don't forget that your forehead plays a huge role in your eyebrows and that eye ridge. So we hold a lot of tension there, okay? And again, don't forget to do the lymphatic stuff just to help drain everything. And remember, the fascia is how the fluids get to and from your tissues and organs, all right? So you want to make sure that you really help manipulate and move that fascia. Well, obviously, this is the fascia at the surface. It's certainly not the fascia that's inside of our body, like around our organs and our blood vessels and our nerves and things like that. But we can only manipulate this. We certainly can't manipulate the ones that are deeper in our body. But block therapy can get deeper, the deeper fascia, because you're blocking into the body, you're creating compression. You guys know I love that. So I just wanted to add on the hair pulling this morning, because when I finished that video, I was like, ooh, I forgot to talk about the hair pulling, which I've done videos on this before. So it's not the first time I've done videos on this, but I'm not really sure what got removed when I deleted my other videos. So I thought I would just slowly start to put some of these videos back up. And again, take the hair, like wiggle your scalp. And really wiggling, and you can use the whole palm of your hand too. Wiggle that scalp back and forth, different directions, circular. reverse. And it feels so damn good. And again, I like to really spend a good amount of time. Not everybody has a lot of time in the morning, so I understand that, but more is better than nothing. Or some is better than nothing, more is better. But I would say at least set a timer for 3 minutes and do 3 minutes the minimum, okay? And again, just do a little bit of the forehead. And again, you can do the lymph stuff before. These are the two areas right here. And you've got the lymph nodes, the back, the occipital. Help drain the back and then down the neck. Everything comes down the neck. And of course, into the subclavicular. It's also good to do some other lymphatic movements as well, just to pump everything, move everything through. Again, it's not a bullet fix, and it's not a substitute for eating right and getting your shit together and having daily movement in your life. Like, move your body more. You know, we're not supposed to be one directional, and we're not supposed to be sitting or standing all day. It's not good for us. And if you have a job that requires that, maybe look for a different job. And I'm serious. A lot of people are dying because of their jobs and their lifestyle, all right? You can't be sitting all day. It's terrible for you. You can't be standing all day. It's terrible for you. Meaning in one place. If you're walking around, that's great. But sitting and standing in, you know, the same position for prolonged periods of time is actually terrible for your body. And if you really like your job and you don't want to get rid of it, then maybe find a way to walk around more. Maybe get a headset and walk around, even though a headset's probably not good for you either, but at least your body's moving around. So I really focus on this area. And the last thing I will show you is this. I've done a whole video on this. Again, it might have been one that I removed. I'm not really sure. This is pretty cheap, and it's just plastic, and it's got these little plastic needles, sharp needles, and it doesn't poke your skin, of course, and I love this, and I kind of rock and roll it all over my scalp, and it's quite prickly. I'll tell you, this really wakes up your scalp. And I do it pretty firm, okay? I have a firm pressure. And it's just scalp massager, but you can see it's different than the other ones. The other ones have the bigger nubs. These are smaller, and there's a lot more of them. And this is the one that I really prefer. The other one is a little bit better for the planting and shearing, but this one is really good for just that needle effect. Just really pressing and rolling. One thing I wanted to mention is that, you know, you see these people on YouTube and whatever, and they say they're MDs and they're holistic. And I can tell you, those two words don't go together. They don't go together, okay? Drugs are not holistic in any way, shape, or form. And even though these doctors may give some good information, oh, this, oh, that, whatever, but then they're prescribing drugs and telling women they need HRT And now they're getting women to go on it even before menopause. Before menopause. We live in a crazy world, okay? These drugs do nothing to restore your body. They do nothing to correct your imbalances. They do nothing to bring harmony and balance back to your body. They are drugs. They interfere. They do things that the body doesn't normally do, and they confuse all of the signaling in your body, and they have a whole bunch of undesirable effects. Now, I'm not anti-drug, okay? There's a time and a place for everything, right? Time and a place for everything in urgent situations. But for healthcare, it's disturbing. And it's disturbing that somebody would call themselves a holistic MD and be prescribing that stuff. Now, if someone is going out of their mind and they're suicidal, you need to like keep them from going off the cliff during menopause. Yeah, I mean, you know, hey, I'm not gonna judge people, right? What they do. But it's because your lifestyle, your diet, and your environment is toxic, okay? And that's just the bottom line. Your body's a mess. And it's probably been years and years and years and years in the making. So, you know, that may not be corrected overnight, right? But the problem is that drugs are just a bullet, and it's the easy fix, but it's not a fix because it's not fixing anything. So that's my big beef with that. The body's not broken. Okay, the body is doing its best. Well, yes, the body can be broken. I don't mean to say that. The body can be broken. But the body is always doing the best that it can with what it has. And if your body is broken, then we also have self-healing mechanisms within our body. And how do we stimulate those self-healing mechanisms? And I did a video a while ago on menopause about why I believe so many women are suffering perimenopause, menopause, hormonal stuff, in addition to diet and lifestyle, okay? In addition to those things. There are so many endocrine disruptors in this environment. It's disgusting. It's disturbing. It's downright evil, actually. And these endocrine disruptors disrupt the way that our body operates. And they especially damage our body's ability to have good hormonal production and good hormonal signaling. And it's a real problem. And, you know, the powers that be aren't talking about this. And this is why I always tell people, nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit, because the only people that do are the ones that don't have a public stage. All right. I have listened to so many people out there that are supposedly holistic people promoting HRT and all of that. Nobody is talking about the root fucking problem. They might give it a little lip service, but no, how about we correct it? So if you have a lot of endocrine disruptors in your body, how about you get on a high-fat animal food diet to help your body detoxify better? How about you eliminate these chemicals from your life as best as you possibly can? How about you get on some detox remedies and formulas and maybe take some baths in some Dead Sea salts and, you know, do some things that are going to really help your body to self-correct and self-heal? You know, the bullet fix is a slippery slope, and it ends up creating a whole lot of other health problems. So you're basically trading one thing for a whole bunch of other things down the road. And if you think the drug companies and big pharma and doctors are going to tell you the truth about that, you would be really mistaken, because nobody who sells you anything or promotes anything is ever going to tell you the truth. Ever. Remember that. If there's one thing that you remember, anybody who's got something to sell you, anytime someone's promoting a product, an idea, a philosophy, they're never going to tell you the truth. Never. Never. Okay? I don't push any philosophy or idea. Yeah, I like natural stuff, and that's what I share with you guys. And I just give you facts and information. But I don't sell anything. I don't make money off this. I have nothing to gain. So I give you the information as I see it. I give you the information that I learn. I do a lot of research. I have my own personal experience over 35 years in the natural healing world, and I just share with you what I've learned and what I know. Does that mean I'm perfect? No. Does it mean that absolutely everything I say is the cold hard truth? I'm not saying that it is, but what I'm saying is that I don't have anything to sell you. That's all I'm saying, okay? And I always try to encourage people to choose the path that will restore your body so that you are not making these big pharma execs fucking billionaires. That's all. That's all. I'm all about empowering people and helping people free themselves from that system. That's what I like to do. I like to help free people, not enslave them, and not make them think that their bodies are just pathetic and can't do anything right and have to rely on big pharma drugs. Because the body's amazing. And when you give it the right food, the right nourishment, sunshine, exercise, sleep, stay out of toxic environments, don't have a job that's killing you, don't be sitting all day, don't be standing all day, get movement, have good relationships. The body is capable of self-healing. And people have healed terminal diseases. Diseases that we have been told are terminal. And people have healed them. Yeah. So this is the thing. How do we tap into that self-healing ability of our body? How do we really tap into it? And I'm sure it's going to be different for everybody because, no two people are the same. No two people, are operating the same way. Okay. Because even though we share, we share commonalities, we also have differences, right? So we have to really listen to our body and we have to experiment. We have to take the path less traveled, the road less traveled, right? Like, obviously, if you have something and it's really out of control and it's bad, it's not going well, you've got to change. So what you're doing isn't working, all right? You've got to change. You might have to change a little. You might have to change a lot. You might have to change radically, like a complete 180. And the thing is, you don't know until you start trying. And I just can't believe that someone doesn't love themselves enough to want to try anything to get their body to work better. I just don't understand that mentality. And again, we're not talking about urgent situations where, your life is hanging in the balance. I'm talking about, and I mean urgent, meaning acute, not being diagnosed with something terminal, okay? Because usually, even in that case, you've still got a little bit of time. You got some time to do stuff, but I'm just talking about like an emergency room visit where it's urgent that you get critical care, because if you don't, the chances of you dying is very, very high. That's what I mean by urgent and acute, okay? But day to day, drugs don't restore anything. They don't correct anything. They don't heal anything, okay? So that's all I'm saying. So you guys know how much I love my 100% cotton crocheted face cloths. They are great for some gentle exfoliating. I don't use it very aggressively. I have like a medium pressure. And it also increases circulation on my skin, which I really love. Ooh. Oops. This is my rose water. And it's just pure rose water. It doesn't have anything in it. No preservatives, no alcohol, no nothing. The only ingredient is rose water. Usually what I do is I get the bottles and then I just clean them out and I just keep refilling them with food grade rose water. It ends up being a lot cheaper that way. All right, it is kind of sunny out today, so I think I have a nighttime balm that I've been using, and it's got the Babchi oil in it. And because it's not the bakuchiol isolate, it's the original babchi, and it is the CO2 extract. It can be phototoxic, which means can increase your susceptibility to being sunburned. I doubt it would happen this time of year though. The UV is super, super low, but just to be mindful, I usually use it at night. I will use it on really cloudy days though. Like, that's fine, because I'm outside quite a bit, but I'm not outside a ton. I go for walks and stuff, but most of the time I have my face covered because it's been, the wind is really cold. And because I had the frostbite on my face, my skin is real sensitive. So this is just my day balm. And again, it's got all my animal fats and plant oils, and it's got some essential oils and CO2 extracts and some really incredible things actually. And I usually stick with 1% or less for a concentration. Again, all of those essential oils, CO2s and stuff, they all have different dermal limits, but I use things that are relatively gentle. I don't really use anything that is super strong, but I also keep them at a low concentration because I do have very sensitive skin. So, and it works for me great as long as I keep it at a low concentration, and I still get benefit. So yeah, it's all good. And this little nevus that I've had going on here, I forget about it, so I don't treat it every day, but I was cupping it and it's actually significantly smaller, like significantly. I just forget about it. And now that it's small, like I completely forget about it. But I usually like to cup it at night before bed. All right, so that's my morning. And I know this is 22 minutes. And a lot of you are thinking, I don't have 22 minutes to get ready in the morning. That's okay. You can just speed this up, right? I would say do a minimum of 3-minute scalp massage. Do a little bit of the forehead and the eyes. Do just a little bit of lymph stuff. And then you know, do your morning wake up. You guys know I don't use cleansers or anything on my skin. And I just use a nice warm cloth just to increase circulation, gently exfoliate my skin for the day. And remember, when you are using any kind of cloth or anything on your skin for exfoliating, you have to use a sunscreen. It's really just not negotiable, okay? Because when you are keeping that horny layer a little thinner, you're losing your protection, okay? So for as much as I love exfoliating, I know that there is a downside to it, okay? So you have to make up for it. So because I use a cloth every morning, and not every night, but a good amount of nights, wearing sunscreen is non-negotiable if you want healthy skin. And I mean, I guess it should go without saying it should be non-negotiable anyway, but I know a lot of people are into getting moderate amounts of sun, or sensible, what they consider to be sensible amounts of sun, okay? But I'm telling you, if you want to prevent premature aging and you're doing any kind of exfoliating with your skin, you need to protect your skin. Absolutely. Now, I don't wear a 50 every day, okay? I only wear like a 50 if I'm like at the ocean, the beach all day, or you know, something like that. I don't, I just don't, and I don't need it. I don't have super pale skin with freckles either, okay? So you got to do what your skin needs. The idea is you don't want to ever burn, all right? You want to make sure that you protect your skin from burning, and whether or not you want to get a little bit of color, you know, that's your prerogative. I like a little bit of color. I don't want to be pale all year round. I don't, and I won't. Personally, I don't think that's healthy, okay? But I also know that getting a lot of sun on your skin is not good either, okay? And I've talked about this in some of my videos too, about how the planet used to have a lot more trees on it. And when we weren't crazy civilized like this, matrix crap, there were a lot more trees. So we had a lot more cover. So humans would not have naturally been out in the sun all the time. It just wouldn't have happened, okay? And if you actually study history, you learn that Africa used to be lush and used to have a lot of trees everywhere. I don't think humans would choose to live in the desert, okay? That humans wouldn't choose to live in a desert, all right? Just like humans probably wouldn't choose to live in, some of the harshest environments in the world. They probably have ended up there because of conquering and colonization and trying to escape being conquered and things like that. But yeah, so anyway, I get it. But these people that are huge into sunbathing, you have to remember we're not designed for it. Our skin is not designed for large amounts of sun. All right, so just be mindful. We need it. We need it. Okay, we need it. We actually need it. It has a lot of health benefits and it's good for us. Okay, I am not denying that. But we have to be careful because there's a fine line between what's good and healthy and what's excess. And it's going to determine how well your skin does, right? Aging, skin cancers, growths, things like that. So it's really important to be mindful, and you have to know your skin. Light skin, dark skin, how much protection do you have naturally? What is your diet like? And I will leave you with this. Now, it is extremely common knowledge in the carnivore community that when people go carnivore, they don't burn as much. Some people say that they just don't burn at all anymore because their skin has so much better protection, okay? And this is interesting, right? And I've said nature and our body shows us and tells us what the ideal human diet is, right? You just got to listen to your body and you have to pay attention. And I've always said, interesting that carnivores burn less, okay? Because your body has more cholesterol, more fat, more nutrients, more everything to protect your skin, to give your skin the resiliency that it needs and the ability to heal and repair and protect, right? And then you have the fact that we don't have any oil glands on our lips, okay? So our lips don't make any oil, which means we have to get it from external sources. And that would be what? A high-fat diet, a high-fat animal diet. Because if you're eating fat every day, your lips don't get dry, right? And brushing your teeth dries your lips out, right? So we're not meant to be brushing our teeth. Nature did not make us born with a toothbrush in our hand, okay? Teeth brushing is only because of the agricultural revolution. Agriculture, plant foods, wreck your teeth, right? Animal foods don't wreck your teeth. As a matter of fact, people in the carnivore community are saying that they have no plaque. I noticed that instantly. I noticed that within a couple of weeks of eating carnivore. I had no plaque on my teeth. My teeth felt clean all the time. Never had anything on my teeth, no gunk, nothing I needed to brush off. So there's that. And there's a million other things too, but I'm just saying these are like the telltale signs, like, wah, wah, wah. Not to mention that when you eat a high-fat carnivore diet, you're not hungry all day long, you have energy that goes for hours, and thermogenesis, right? So your body is actually kind of getting ramped up, so to speak, right? Increase in metabolism, and keeps your body a little bit warmer, right? Which is good, because if your furnace is going more, you've got more action happening, more activities happening. I guess that's the right word, right? And not to mention you have all of that protein and fat and cholesterol for your cells, because your cells are made up of fats and proteins, okay? The amount of glucose in your cell is extremely minimal, extremely minimal. Your body makes all that it needs for that. There's only a few systems in the body that require glucose, all right? And they've actually done some studies and found that the brain actually thrives on ketones, thrives in a way that glucose can't even touch, okay? So again, but yes, there are certain organs and stuff that do need glucose. They do need some glucose, but your body makes it. So it's no problem. You don't have to eat it from the outside in order for your body to make it. It just makes it. But we need a lot of protein. We need fat and cholesterol for healing and repairing and for maintenance of our cells and for the creation of our cells. And every cell membrane in your body, the trillions and trillions of cells in your body, are made up of cholesterol. Not completely, but a good amount of cholesterol, okay? So when you have enough cholesterol, protein, and fat, you're going to have much better healing, much better repair, and you're getting a lot more of the fat-soluble vitamins, which I believe are critical, and I believe humans don't get nearly enough of. That's just, that's just my feeling on it. But anyway, so it's my little ditty on that today. So eat what you want, though. If you're into the whole phytochemical thing and the whole plant-based thing, and hey, if that works for you, that's great, because I want people to do what works for them, for sure. But if you have to brush your teeth because you have gunk on your teeth, your diet's not working for you. All right? Signing out.